you're going to be our first guest in Confessions of a Remote Life. What we wanted to do is have a safe space for everybody to just get to know a little bit more about their peers, see what other people through remote life go through, and also learn some tips and tricks that you have of your personal life. So, first of all, if you would like to introduce yourself, give a brief mention of what you do.
Okay, awesome. My name is Daniella Lanzas. I'm a project coordinator here at Trax and have been with the company almost for 4 or 5 years. I can't remember now. I think I started in 2021. As a project manager, I have two large clients and we do like all sorts of things, honestly. But talking more about my personal life, I love to exercise. I'm a very active person. I love sweets, so I love desserts. I love cooking and especially eating brownies and cookies and cake. I love to spend time with my family. I recently got a little dog, so I spend time with my dog. Um, and my favorite color is pink. That's something I like to
Me
tell
too.
people.
I love pink. Do you ever bake while you're working? Has it ever happened? Like you're baking some cookies or some cupcakes while you're also working?
No, because I tend to binge when I eat and when I work. If I have food, if I cook, let's say 12 cookies, I'll eat the 12 cookies. So I prefer to like cook during the weekend when I'm more chill, where I'll eat just like one or two cookies or two and be more balanced.
Okay. Um, what's the one thing you always do before you log into work? Like, is there a routine? Is it different every day?
I'm a very routine person. Like if my routine doesn't go as planned, my day just sucks, honestly. So yes, I do have a routine. I'm a bar instructor. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in my house, I give classes from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. and then I clock in to work. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays I used to run. Now I no longer run. So this past month has been a bit different in the sense that I've been more of a bum Tuesdays and Thursdays. But regularly I'll exercise before starting work. It like grounds me, calms my energy, helps me start my day.
I personally don't have a routine. I feel it's something I'm missing. It's like every day, either I just wake up and immediately just clock in, or sometimes I do wake up a little bit earlier because I love frappuccinos. So I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna go get one, and then I come back and log in. But I do feel that, like, specifically remote work, having a routine, making it makes you feel like you're actually working. I know that many people don't even have like a space in their home, let's say, or like a office. So some people work from their bed, some people work from like next to their bed in a desk. So I feel that having like a routine makes you feel like you're actually working. Like I actually have to clock in, have to do this. I feel like it's beneficial for many people.
I agree 100%. I just want to say something about that. So when I started working remotely, I honestly didn't like to exercise. Like I started exercising because my dad was like, "Oh, we should do more stuff together." So I started running with him and then my mom was like sort of jealous and she was like, "You only spend time with your dad." So I started doing bar with her. And so that's why I started doing exercises and like I started into this routine, but when I started working, I was like you. I literally like I didn't have a setup other than in my room. So I had my bed, and then next to my bed was my desk. So I would, I don't know, if I started working at 7 or 6, depending
You
on
would
the
crawl
time
out
that I
of
had.
bed. Hmm.
Yeah, I would just like crawl out of bed, clock in, and just work all day. And it sort of doesn't to have like not the flexibility but organization. I feel that when you have a structure or a routine, you're more organized in the sense that you have to get to this and this today because I want or have drinks with my friends. So I definitely agree that having a routine is very important.
And talking about like when you started working, how is it that you got into track? Like, how did you know about the company? How did you know about the role? Like, did you study specifically for it?
So I was working not remotely. I was working here in Nicaragua for a company called Ugo, which is like Uber Eats
Oh,
or
hmm.
Rappi, Pedidos Ya. And COVID hit. And when COVID hit, we were sent home. So I started working home and I was in the commercial area of Ugo, and literally absolutely all restaurants, all stores, like absolutely everybody wanted to join Ugo because nobody was going out because of COVID. And so it was really hard at first because there was no balance in the sense that I started like I would work from 6 a.m. to like 9, 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday, nonstop. And it just got to a point where I didn't see any like potential growth. And it was just like working like ants, literally like else to like get from it. So then I was like, oh, why not? I'll just start applying randomly to works and to different works. And so I came across Survey Merchandiser, which was originally before Trax acquired Survey.
Hmm.
I was working for Survey, and so I saw a position, and I studied, human resources. So organic psychology is what I studied. And so the role was like you're going to be related to clients, you're going to be calling reps. So I was like, oh, this is an HR position, this is great. So I applied, and honestly at first it was nothing what I expected. It was like cold calling. Nothing against call centers, I really admire people that call and call and call all day, but it was really hard at first. It wasn't what I expected. And then luckily within 3 months I was promoted to project manager, and then I sort of changed my role and I was no longer calling but rather leading. And so that's how I started here at Trax and working remotely.
Do you have like any funny stories with reps? Like, anytime you called them, something happened, something you remember?
So we had a phone, like it was part of the not the dashboard, but like the tools that we use internally.
Mhm.
And you could mute the calls. And for some reason, I don't remember if it was my mother or my little brother that came into the room, and I swear I had the phone muted. And so he started talking to me like, oh, do you want to order fried chicken or do you want this or that? But I thought that the rep was like, hold on, let me confirm if I can actually get the job. So supposed, like, according to me, I had muted the call. And so we were talking about, yeah, give if they order chicken or whatever I was gonna order for that night. And then when the rep comes back, he or she, I can't remember if it was a girl or a boy, but the rep was like, oh hey, yeah, I can do the job and also send me some fried chicken. So I was like, oh my God, how embarrassing. The call wasn't muted. The rep heard the full conversation with my brother. So that's something that has happened with reps. But really they're funnier than we are funnier. Like they have so many stories. I can't even think about stories, but they just call and they sometimes talk about anything and everything. I love them. They're so unique.
I used to work before, like as a rep again, and
Mhm.
I remember my teammates would always tell me like some people are just lonely and they want to have someone to talk to, and I can 100% say yes. I remember one time specifically, I called this rep in California. If I'm not mistaken, I even remember his name, and I started asking him about the job and everything, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, because I have like an injury from tennis." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry for that. Like, okay, move on." And he was like, "Yeah, I started going to tennis because my mom wants me to do this, but my dad told me to do that, and then university here." I'm not kidding. We spent like 54 minutes 54 minutes in a call because I was too embarrassed to just tell him like, okay, I have to
Yeah.
leave. And he started talking to me about like all his life, how his mother was from Mexico. And I feel that sometimes it's funny because it's memories that you're always going to go back to. Like every time somebody asks me about a funny story about my job or something, I always remember those type of calls or some reps that are like completely crazy. I feel it's like fun and it changes your day because you don't know what you're going to have in a call. Sometimes they're gonna be mad. Sometimes they're gonna be funny. So I feel it's like, I don't know, you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. They're funny.
Um, so in your position, like for somebody that has no idea what you do, like do you work with teammates or is it just like you and you have your group? How do you divide your tasks?
So across the years, the project manager role has changed drastically here at Trax. Um, at the moment, I have I lead the operational part of the projects. So that means that we'll receive a project from one or any of the clients that we have, and then I'm in charge of executing the whole project since we receive all the information like the project instructions, the scope of work, the number of reps that they need, the time of the shift, the payout, all the information. And then we create the survey for reps, and then we share that with the regional team who tends to do the recruiting, and then we make sure that the answers are correct, that the client is getting the data that they're requesting, that the project is running smoothly. I have currently 3 PCs under me, and I report to one manager, but I have one of the biggest clients, so sometimes I'll have to report to higher people in the organization, but I tend to only report to my boss directly. And other than running those projects, I have to ensure, of course, that the team is doing everything that they need. We have to complete all of the reports, meaning revenue reports and project closures and overviews, and just like a bunch of different reports, and reconciliate all of the information for these projects so that everything runs as smooth as possible. And also like the connection between the other teams, so regional team and the sales team or the AM, the commercial department, and then the QA team and the data team. So all of these different departments, I work with them so that whatever I report back to the client is what they want.
Talking about like leading a team in situations where there's like stress or something changes are happening in the company, how do you manage to lead? How do you manage to make your team members feel comfortable, feel less stressed, like regardless of what's going on around them? How do you manage to create like that safety net for them so that they can continue giving their 100% in the company?
So with one of our clients, we have a high season. It runs from, let's say, mid-February to late May, early June. And it is a very stressful time. We have to run like 50,000 shifts in 3.5 months. And the client is very, very strict about how they want the information and when they want the information. So I think something that has worked for me with my team in situations under stress is number one, being as transparent as possible. Like if the client shares something, I'll automatically let them know. So being completely transparent about everything and anything with them, and also creating a safe space. We'll have, let's say, one-on-ones or team meetings that can maybe be like 15 minutes just to not vent, but to talk about anything other than the projects, because we're constantly working nonstop 7 days a week, like literally 10 to 12 hours daily. So it can definitely get very, very tiring. So being transparent, letting them have the opportunity to vent and allowing them a safe space to talk about everything has helped us work under stress. Plus, also with my team, I think it helps that I really, so as long as they do their work the way that they have to do them, I'm not micromanaging anything, and I let them do it the way they feel comfortable doing it. And I think that has helped them be more self-sufficient, more proactive, and we have, especially during the high season.
If you had to choose like one skill that you think every remote worker should have, what would you say that skill is?
I would say honesty. Because I feel like a lot of people feel that remote work is just having the flexibility to do anything and everything. Like, oh, I'm working remotely, so I can go to the beach or to the gym when and have my cell phone and reply to calls or reply to emails or be on call. But I feel that you do have to be honest. And if you're actually working, you should be working. It doesn't mean that you're going to be working every day, all day, because not even in an office you work as many hours. Like you'll have water breaks and bathroom breaks and lunch and time to chit chat with your peers. At home, it's a bit different. It's not, I'm not saying that you should not talk to your friends or to your family or to exercise. But if you have, for example, like we do, we have the clock in and we have the clock in, at least try to be honest with that. Um, because at the end, they'll figure it out. Like people will see how you're working and they'll know that you're not giving your 100% honesty. And then I'd say flexibility, being able to find that work life.
Yeah, I'd also say that one of the skills that is really underrated is communication, especially when you're
Mm.
not able to like see your boss or talk to your teammates. Like when your work depends on other people and their work depends on yours as well. It's really, really important that people learn how to communicate. That in stressful situations like in tracks, I know that there's high season and many projects at the same time. I feel that having that communication skill, making sure that you can come across as kind regardless of what's going on, if it's like 3 a.m., 7 a.m., and you're just starting a shift. I feel that some people sometimes forget that everybody's stressed, everybody's going through the same thing. You can just be kind, like just say good morning before you send a text,
Hmm.
or just say, like, how are you doing? Like having that type of understanding to others, I think is really important.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 100%.
And lastly, what would you say is your confession of a remote life?
My confession of a remote life, huh? Um, find the balance because working remotely has so many, if you correctly. So, for example, I think 2 years ago, 2023 it was, I went with my now husband to live in Europe for 3 months. And that's something that you can't do if you work a regular office job. So I think that remote work is one of the opportunities and gifts that we were given from COVID. And so I think people should use it to their advantage rather than seeing it as not a punishment, but as a, oh, I can do whatever I want whenever I want. Um, I just love it. Honestly, I love the flexibility. I love the trust. I love that I can be flexible with my own time. Let's say I have a doctor's appointment at 3 p.m. I can go and then come back and work. I have the flexibility of not having to deal with traffic, not having to deal with getting ready every day. Like honestly, something I love is not having to shower early in the morning. Like, I don't mind it, but sometimes I just don't want to shower in the morning, or I don't want to have my hair done or have to look pretty. I just want to continue being in my exercise clothes. So I think that a remote job, like remote work, is really really awesome. That's the confession I have. Honestly, don't, if you have a remote job or if you're looking for one, keep it. If you're looking for one, keep looking for it. If you have one, keep it. Very, very valuable that I think a lot of people are undervaluing and underestimating currently because there are so many remote opportunities.
I love it. And thank you for your time.
Of course.
And we will continue doing episodes every month, just so people know as well when they watch this. Like, if you ever feel that there's someone in your team that you feel that maybe you're inspired by them or they have been doing a really great job, you can nominate them as well. Just send us a message and just let us know, like, oh, I think you should do an interview with this person, or this person has great stories, so that we can continue like fostering that community and getting to know more people as well.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.